It's just me, Carl Tamjam, living my boring routine as always. The music of my life, right?
Vítejte v Praze, Česká republika.
Before we start this vlog, just a reminder for EU nationals, just go to the right, while we non-EU must go and register to the EES machine. EU's entry-exit system will be fully operating on April 10, 2026. After the immigration officer, just go outside the arrival area, and just outside the airport, just across the road, is where the bus stop, where you are lead to Metro A and Metro B, where you can take the train towards Prague city center. But first, for a cheaper option, you can take the bus to the Metro A and Metro B, or something convenient, Airport Express will do. We have several options with the tickets. It's either 30 minutes, 90 minutes, 24 hours, or 72 hours, based on how long you're gonna stay and how much you're gonna use the public transport. Since we're gonna get the 90 minutes, never forget to validate, and starting from that time, the 90 minutes countdown starts. For the Airport Express, just a little bit expensive, but go straight to the Prague National train station. At the end of the journey of the bus, there's Metro A, where it will take about 15 to 30 minutes towards the city center of Prague. Well, after 2 hours of delay in plane because of technical issues, we have arrived in Prague. So it's 8 o'clock at the moment. So the challenge here is to make a vlog within 24 hours. And Prague is the perfect place, or the perfect setting, because it's quite walkable. So I'm up into the challenge, but first, I forgot I barely had any sleep, and I came from a night shift as a nurse, so resting time for me. Oh, by the way, editing is not included in this challenge. Looks like there's only 17 hours, and the day starts now. The time on the top left will be the indicator on how many hours left in our 24-hour challenge. Good luck to me. The weather forecast has foretold that it was about to snow, but it was raining badly and it's about 0 degrees. It was early morning. I just kept moving and the city slowly fell away behind me. The snow is heavy tonight, the kind that doesn't decorate, it erases. Every step up the stairs feels like it's being taken back the moment I make it. Prague is still down there, glowing, alive, pretending nothing has changed. But up here the noise fades, the crowds disappear. All that's left is breath, stone, and time. These steps have carried centuries of weight, kings, armies, revolutions, and now just me, climbing in the cold. Near the gates of Prague Castle, the world feels suspended. The city below glows faintly through the snowfall. From the bird's eye view, Prague feels endless. ancient and impossibly quiet. Like the city itself, it's holding its breath.
Prague Castle is not just a castle. It is composed of different buildings inside within its walls. It's on top of a hill, and one by one we're gonna pass them.
St. Vitus Cathedral dominates the city like a stone sentinel. Its soaring Gothic spires pierce the sky, catching the sunlight and shadow as centuries pass beneath them. This isn't just a church, it's the spiritual heart of the Czech lands. Construction began here in 1344 under Emperor Charles IV at the time when Prague was becoming the center of the Holy Roman Empire. What you're looking at took nearly 6 centuries to complete. Generation after generation built onto the structure, knowing they would never see it finished. The cathedral is Gothic at its core. Inside, stained glass windows blaze with color, casting stories of saints, kings, and legends across the sacred halls. Every arch, every carved figure, every towering column whispers the weight of history, faith, and artistry that shaped a nation.
So, St. Vitus Cathedral is quite important in the Czech Republic. It is the most important church here. This is where Bohemian kings were crowned, and this is also the resting place of some of the saints and also some of the religious figures here in Czech Republic, including Saint Wenceslas.
When the organ plays here, the sound doesn't rush, it lingers. It climbs, it feels every shadow between the pillars, reminding you that this space was never meant to be empty, only quiet. As your eyes adjust, color begins to appear. The stained glass windows flood the cathedral with shifting blues, reds, and golds. Some are medieval, others are modern, including the famous window by Alphonse Mucha, blending centuries of belief in a single wall of light. Standing inside St. Vitus Cathedral, time feels layered, past and present sharing the same air. This isn't just a building you walk through, it's a place that watches you pass, the same way it has watched generations before.
Despite having all this religious infrastructures here in Prague and all over Czechia, Czechs are about 70% what we can say atheist, non-believers, or agnostic. Why? Well, it's quite a mixture of history, culture, and also politics. Well, it has a rocky history. Number one, this guy, John Hus, the reformist, the head of the reform group, has criticized the Catholic Church for being corrupt and quite overpowered and trying controlling the whole country. Also, if you can recall the history, Czech Republic is under the Soviet rule after the war, and somehow they were influenced to be non-believers and just to discard all the religious beliefs. Some people retained it, some people just adopted to the new normal, and somehow, even though the USSR has collapsed, they still carry on up until this day, those beliefs. Another part of history is that because of the Habsburg, Czechia was forced, religion was imposed, and they were left with no choice. And after the collapse of the Habsburg, somehow they think that religion is like they were left with no choice, so they had more freedom to choose whatever they believe on, and some of them just choose science.
Just another tip, just by the Prague main railway station, you can find a luggage locker just within these halls. You have two options, 4 hours and 24 hours. Put on your number and a confirmation will be sent to you, and pay it by credit card, and then randomly it will open the door. At the very center of Prague, time does not simply pass, it performs. Gears turn, figures awaken, and the sky itself is measured in gold and shadow. The astronomical tower watches over centuries, counting not just hours, but eclipses, seasons, and human wonder. In here, science meets myth, and time becomes a story told in motion. Crowds gather, bells ring. For a brief moment, the world looks up, and Prague reminds us that time is a miracle worth watching.
We're inside a Starbucks at the moment. It's just nearby the Astronomical Tower. So this tower has been installed at 1410, the oldest astronomical clock in the world that is still operating. So it shows about the astronomical time, the old Czech time, Central European time, the moon phases and zodiac signs. So it's like multiple function in one clock. Well, there's two of them, up and down. So there are statues that surrounds it. It shows death, vanity, greed, and lust. And it was damaged during the World War II, and somehow they just restored it. Actually, in 2019, when I was here, or I was here in 2018, it was renovated.
Every hour, the Walk of the Apostles takes place, where figures appear from the windows above the clock, chiming its way to tell that another hour has passed. This event only happens starting at 9 in the morning until 9 in the evening, and until 11 in the evening on summer.
Well, we are in this like old town center here in Prague, and that statue right there is Hus Memorial. So he's a man who challenged the religious belief here in Prague or the whole Czech Republic. And this is opened in 1915 as a memorial of 500th death anniversary. So he was burnt in a stake because he challenged the church back then. This church is known as the Church of Our Lady Before Time, and it is quite known because of these Gothic spires. The Gothic spires up here are actually unequal in height. It used to dominate the skyline of the old city proper of Prague. I think the southern part, the right one, is much higher than the other one.
Rising behind Old Town Square, the Church of Our Lady Before Time is one of Prague's most recognizable silhouettes. Those twin Gothic towers, often called Adam and Eve, have watched over the city for more than 600 years.
Oh my god, on top of the castle I almost had a frostbite. I can't feel my fingers. I think I was there since 7 in the morning. Yeah, we did hear the sunrise and it's horrible. But anyway, this is Charles Bridge.
For more than 4 centuries, this was the only crossing between Prague Castle and the Old Town. Kings passed here on their coronation processions. Merchants, soldiers, and pilgrims followed. If Prague moved forward, it did so across the bridge. Welcome to Prague, and it's 0 degrees, and my hands... I can't feel my hands at all. But anyway, and this is my vlog. Let's explore it in this cold day. "16 arches carry its weight, built from Bohemian sandstone, strong enough to survive floods, wars, and revolutions. The bridge has been damaged many times, but never abandoned. Lining its edges stand 30 statues and sculptures, most added during the Baroque era. They don't decorate the bridge, they guard it. Saints, martyrs, and legends watching silently as the city flows past." Unfortunately, in the snowy day, my Insta360 is not doing well with the lenses. It just fogs up and leaves some moisture to it. So I have to do multiple takes up until I have to come back in the afternoon to do the fourth take until the snowing stops. Before the city wakes, Charles Bridge is already dreaming. Stone beneath your feet, history in the air. Every step echoes with kings, artists, and quiet prayers. The statues stand watch in silence, their shadows stretching across the Vltava River. As the river carries secrets from one century to the next, mist rises, bells whisper. The bridge becomes more than a crossing. It becomes a moment suspended in time. This is where Prague breathes slowly, where past and present meet halfway, and where every sunrise feels like a promise. This is Charles Bridge. The first stone was laid at the precise moment, 5:31 a.m. on July 9th, forming a numerical palindrome meant to protect the bridge from collapse. Superstition and engineering bound together in stone. If you want to have a better view of the bridge, you can climb on the Old Town Bridge Tower, which is one of the two on each end. Just for a price, of course. On the very top is where the ticketing office is. And we're here in one of the towers in Charles Bridge. So this bridge has been constructed in 1357 under Emperor Charles IV. It is a replacement on an early bridge that was destroyed by a flood. So the thing here about this bridge is that there's a lot of statues, very religious statues. One of them is the Christ being crucified. And also, as the morning comes, as the day passes by,
the crowd thickens. And just be careful, because one of those member of the crowds might be a pickpocket. It's quite a popular site, and also a popular site for pickpocketers, so just be vigilant.
Hidden just steps from Old Town Square, there's a tower in Prague, built not from stone, but from stories. This is the Book Tower inside the Municipal Library of Prague, an art installation created in 1998 by Slovak artist Matej Krit. From the outside, it looks simple, modest, easy to miss, but step closer. Thousands of books are stuck into a towering cylinder. Rising several stories high, mirrors placed at the top and bottom created the illusion that the tower is endless. Books extending finally upward and downward, without beginning or an end. Now from one tower to another, we're gonna proceed from the Tower of Books to the tower made of stones.
Right here, my friend, is the Powder Tower. So it was built at around 1475. So it is like the gateway for the royalties here, with the late Bohemian kings. So starting from here, they make their way towards the Prague Castle, which is like on the other side of the river.
The Powder Tower stands like a dark punctuation mark at the edge of Prague's old town. Not welcoming, not decorative, defiant. Its original purpose wasn't war, it was symbolism. Another tower, near Wenceslas Square, Henry's Tower, doesn't announce itself like Prague's castles or cathedrals. It simply stands, tall, narrow, and patient. Between 1472 and 1476, this Gothic tower was originally the bell tower of the nearby church, St. Henry.
Now we're heading to the Kafka Head, the rotating head statue, just near Mall. So, try to visit the statues that a famous Prague-based Czech artist called David Černý. So he is quite a controversial figure here because he makes statues that are quite provocative, and it's quite odd actually. And somehow it just reflects the Czech culture. And one of them is just in front of us.
Lunch in the Czech Republic isn't rushed, it arrives slowly with warmth and weight. And today, I sat down to a couple of dishes that feel like history served on a plate. First, kukulida. Creamy, earthy, and comforting. Dill and mushrooms melting into a soup that tastes like forests and winter kitchens.
Oh my god, consistency is nice, really warm, perfect with the cold weather.
Finished with a soft egg resting quietly on top. Then svichkova, tender beef bathed in a rich vegetable sauce, slightly sweet, slightly tangy. Cranberries, a slice of lemon, a cloud of whipped cream, flavors that shouldn't work together but somehow always do. Serve with bread dumplings that soak up everything you don't want to leave behind. There are other tourist spots in Prague that you can see all over it. For instance, in a quiet corner of Prague, a wall speaks louder than words. Layers of paint, graffiti, and messages stretch as far as the eye can see, each one a testament to hope, rebellion, and love. It was started in the 1980s as a tribute to John Lennon and a symbol of protest against communist rule. Or you can visit the Dancing House by the edge of the Vltava River. The curved facade, flowing lines, and uneven windows challenge symmetry. Or take a stroll into the Jubilee Synagogue, the largest synagogue in Prague.
Now we're heading to Vyšehrad. So this is like a fortress back in the day, and once the home of the Bohemian kings. Now it's a tourist spot. Well, Vyšehrad is also like a cemetery, and that's where the famous composers, writers, and also some artists are laid to rest. And I thought Porto is a challenge. It's a 45-degree, more than 45-degree incline. Oh well. Exercise, but my arthritis is just killing me. How I wish just built on flat land. It's a castle, it's a fortress. It has to be secured from enemies back in the day. Kakahingal. Beautiful day though.
Perched on a cliff above the Vltava River, Vyšehrad watches over Prague like an ancient guardian. Stone walls, withered by centuries, hold stories of kings, saints, and legends whispered through the wind. Within its gates lie grand churches, royal tombs, and quiet courtyards, where history lingers in every shadow. From here, the city stretches below, spires, bridges, and rooftops, while Vyšehrad stands timeless, a reminder that Prague's heart beats not just in the squares, but in its fortresses and memories.
All the hard work's paid off. This is Vyšehrad. It was built in 10th century. Now we're going to discover what's inside.
At the heart is Basilica of Saints Peter and Paul. Stepping inside where the world softens, sound lowers, light warms, the space feels intimate, almost protective. This interior is not medieval darkness, it's a celebration of color. In the early 20th century, the basilica was transformed into the Art Nouveau style, covering the walls and ceilings with flowing patterns, saints and symbols drawn from Czech history. Every surface feels alive. Floral motifs climb the arches. Gold accents catch the light. It feels like stone and more like a painting, story unfolding around you. Well, climbing is the consequence, but the reward is a good view of the city, especially on that side. And this is where it ends our Prague journey. And yes, we're able to finish the vlog within 24 hours. The end.